y'all, it's your girl Lady Love Ambivert, and I am back today on Wednesday. And we would normally do a Wonder Woman Wednesday or a Word Worth Wednesday, but today I just want to briefly talk, and I guess we could kind of just call this story time. So we are going to talk about a time in my life when I was not always all about God and what that looked like. So again, I'm Lady Love Ambivert, and there was a time where I was always angry. There was a time where I was always frustrated. I was always feeling like nothing went right for me. And sometimes I know that we all go through that. We go through not feeling like things are on point. We feel like things are never going right, feeling like we always had things bad for us. And I remember a point where I always felt like nothing was ever going to go right because I was me, because of who I was and who God had created me to be, that I was a person where things just did not go well for me. So speaking of that, that led me into this space of depression. And depression is real. Let's sit in that for a minute. Depression is real. It is not a facade. It is not something that we just brush away or pretend that medicine will take care of all the time. Depression is serious and it is real. So I was really, really, really depressed, and going through high school was one of the toughest parts of my life. I was angry at everybody based on what I was going through in life. So I had hardships, of course. If you watch my first video, you understand that I went through molestation and rape from age 13 till I was almost 16 years old by my dad's frat brother. And this was allowed to keep happening because when I said something, it wasn't till a little while later that, my mom realized, hey, this legit happened, and, then began to say, hey, like, oh, he's a perv, whatever. And, as far as my dad, unfortunately, that is a topic that we don't discuss, mainly because of him. I would like to, but, hey. So anyways, I was really depressed. I was going through a lot. I was really angry. I was mad at the world. And so, as the saying goes, hurt people hurt people. I totally believe that. I totally agree with that, because I was a hurt person, and unintentionally I was hurting other people. People that wanted to love me, people that cared about me, people that understood what I was going through and wanted to be there. I hurt them because of other people who were in my life, just to be in my life, just to be nosy, just to know what I was going through, just so they could go spread my business. And as a kid, it was sad that adults would go and, just spread my business as if I was some grown woman that was doing wrong and could control these things. And to the contrary, I wasn't. I was in a phase of, should I kill myself? I went through that a lot. Even when I was younger, I used to, my stepsister, she had a disability, so she would take meds. And I remember one time, even I was under 11, and I would take her medicine. And I remember, I think it was for seizures. I think she was epileptic. And I would take her medicine just because I just felt like if I took a lot of it, then I would die, and I didn't have to deal with the stuff that I was dealing with, even at that age, So as I get older, I'm going through all of that. I grew up in a home where I didn't feel worth anything. I was always made to feel that everything was my fault, and that I was in the wrong, and how I spoke was wrong, how I behaved was wrong. And even as an all-A student, I would skip class, but I was a smart skipper. Like, if I ditched class, I would get my work the day before and tell my teacher, oh, I'm not going to be in class. Like, I'm not going to be in town or whatever, but only just to get away. And I didn't skip to go and do weed or stuff like that. I would skip just to have peace of mind, just to have my thoughts, like, you know what I mean? And being alone with my thoughts a lot caused me to go into a deeper depression, because I started to reevaluate and think of all the things I was already going through and wondering, is it worth it? So again, I went through a phase where I tried to choke myself in high school. You're wondering, like, how in the world you try to choke yourself with food? So I was like eating, and some of my friends were at the table, and I was like eating stuff in my mouth, and I was like trying to push nuggets down my mouth so that I could choke, just because I didn't want to be alive. Like, I didn't feel like I was worth being alive. Like, sometimes feeling like you have no worth is the worst part of depression. Feeling like nobody cares for you, feeling like everybody is lying to you, that there's nobody in your corner. So yeah, I was doing that. Then I couldn't do that, so I was choking, and one of the security guards came, and like they were like trying to get me to get the chicken nugget up. It came up, so I didn't die from that. So I go home and I take a whole bottle of ibuprofen, and that didn't work. And I go to the hospital from school one day, as I attempted to try to kill myself there, and they call my mom and like, oh, we're taking her to the hospital, she tried to commit suicide, whatever. Well, from there I get older, and you know, life is still horrible. You know, I'm like, why are bad things happening to me? Yes, I graduated high school, but it was like life still was bad. Like, I felt like I had nothing. I felt like I had nobody. So I just went down a downward spiral. I was getting high just to cope. I would drink as much as I could just to cope. And this is all while I had accepted my calling. Like, I accepted my calling at 17. So 17 or 18, it was in the year of 2005 or 2006. And then I was licensed in 2006. But everything just got overwhelmingly like drastic for me in my life. Like, everything got worse. It didn't get better because I was an adult. It got worse, you know. Dating a guy who was no good for me, but I kept taking him back just because it was the thing to do, you know, like, oh, you're gonna be with a dope boy, oh, you know, whatever. And it wasn't like he was throwing me cash or anything, because he was not. Like, he was so selfish. He was so like about himself, you know, other than like we go to movies or we go out to eat or whatever the case may be. So I'm just grateful. Like, I never had sex with him or anything in all the 4 or 5 years we were together. I never gave him none, because I just felt like that would have just been a waste of time, energy, all that. Like, soul ties, good thing I didn't even connect those. But anyways, so I want to continue talking about depression because we overlook it sometimes. And sometimes people say, oh, you're a Christian and God can heal that. And, you know, so how are you a Christian and you deal with depression and you deal with bipolar, this and that? Why do you go see a therapist? I thought Jesus was, you could call him up on the main line and tell him what you want. But guess what? You can call him up and tell him what you want. You can call him up and talk to him and tell him what's going on in your life. But that doesn't mean that depression does not exist. Doesn't mean that it just goes away because you call God. Doesn't mean it goes away because you pray. Sometimes there is medicine that you have to incorporate with prayer, incorporate with devotion, incorporate with, you know, all the above. And yes, I still get depressed at times, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And for our story time today, I just want to tell somebody, like, if you are dealing with depression, tell somebody. Don't be the introvert like I was, or don't be the one that keeps stuff in. You know, they always say check on your strongest friend, but I say check on your friend that's an introvert. Check on your friend that's inclusive, or, you know, like, that doesn't tell you things, because those are the ones that are really hurting. They have a lot to hold in. People always feed them things and they can never throw them up. They can never, you know, they can never just divulge that information, because people are always coming to them with this and that and this and this and this and this. And so if you're depressed, it's okay, tell somebody. You know, if you are depressed with children and you cannot handle it, tell somebody. Nobody can say that you're an unfit parent, because you're telling somebody. You are choosing to give somebody that information so that you don't go and hurt your kids, so that you won't allow somebody else to hurt your kids. And the reason I bring that up is because we're dealing with this whole Malaya, I can't pronounce your name right, so forgive me, but not only her, we're dealing with children who are constantly being killed and beaten, and like the young man who hit his 1-month-old child in the face because he lost on a video game. It doesn't give you any right to do that. Like, this is an innocent child, and these children did not ask to be brought into the world, such as we didn't ask to be brought into the world. So we didn't deserve or don't deserve to be treated the way that we have been or are being treated. But if you are depressed, if you are dealing with anything in your mind that you feel like you cannot control, tell somebody. If you have children and you don't know what to do, tell somebody. There is somebody who is willing to get your children. You know, there are people standing around. There are women who can't have children who would love to nurture your child and care for your child. And it doesn't make you any less of a person, any less of a parent, any less of a father or a mother. It makes you an amazing person who realizes that there is something going on beyond my control that I need help with, and I'm going to get the help so that I can take care of my children, or I'm going to get the help for me so that I know that I'm well, that I'm taken care of. And depression sometimes puts you in a hole and makes you feel like I can't tell anybody because nobody understands what I'm going through. But I'm standing here personally, well, I'm sitting, but I'm here to tell you personally that I understand what it feels like. And although I don't deal with it on an everyday basis, I deal with it on a regular basis, and I am not on medication right now because I am nursing. So it is a struggle to have to try to deal with everything and to still have like a clear mind or just a smooth like attitude or mindset about a lot of things. And I have 2 children biologically, and on a regular 5 children that I'm dealing with. And I know sometimes I have to tell them, hey, give me a minute. Like, don't walk in here while I'm in the shower. Do not come over here. I need a minute. And it's okay to tell your children, I need a minute. Hey, leave me alone. Like, let me be. It's okay to have selfish moments sometimes because you need a moment. And don't let anybody tell you, oh, you had kids, you don't have a moment, you don't have time to yourself. That's wrong. Because that's how you end up hurting your children, putting them in harm's way, letting other people harm your children because you need a break, you need a moment. And then you allow somebody else to come in and hurt your children or hurt you because you're going through what you're going through. So as I leave this video with you guys, I hope that it blesses you. I hope that it inspires you. And I just want you to know, if you cannot handle your children or you cannot handle life, you know, I am certified in maternal and child health, and I will be getting my degree in social work. Doesn't mean that I'm a genius, doesn't mean I know everything, doesn't mean I know the answers to everything, because I do not. But I have endured enough beyond even getting a degree, beyond getting certification, beyond anything else. I have personal experience with this stuff, and I know what it's like, and I know how it works. I know how you feel. I know the toll that it takes on you, how it drains you, how it pulls everything, and it just tries to suck the life out of you. But I am here saying you have the victory. You have dominion and power over your life, and you have the power to change anything in your life that you choose to change. And you can work on this depression. You can work on, it don't even have to be depression, whatever it is that you're going through in life. Focus on it. Pray about it. Call somebody. Dump on them. Let them dump on you. Whatever the case is. And when I say dump, is you give them your information. They give you their information. You pray. You go to God. You take it to the Lord in prayer, and you leave it there. And sometimes that's hard. I get it. Like, I don't always leave it. You know, sometimes I have to wrestle with that thing before I let God get it and just hold on to it. But I'm just saying to you, if you need anything, if you need any help, you need resources, you need anything, like, if you don't want to comment below, I will leave my email address for you to be able to contact me, and we will walk through it. We will work through it. Hell, I will get your kids for you. Even if it's for a moment, if it's for a month, if it's for, let me help. Let somebody help you so that you don't put yourself or your children or loved ones in harm's way, and in a way that put yourself in a position where you are no good for anybody else, but let alone, more importantly, that you are not any good for yourself. We want you to have a happy, healthy Wednesday, and forget who is and who ain't crushing on you. Like, you know, life is about give and take and understanding, and I want you all to have a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you guys have enjoyed story time, and if there are any topics that you guys want me to touch on or talk about, drop a note in the comments, let me know, and your girl will talk about it. Your girl will get on it. You know, And I want to say, forgive me that I haven't been on it weekly. You know, I'm still working the king side and stuff. But I'm working it out for you guys so you guys can have at least 3 vlogs a week, 3 videos, whatever the case may be. And, you know, who knows what else we'll come up with. But for now, I want to work on getting you guys 3 videos, vlogs, whatever, hair tutorials, all the other stuff. We're going to work on it. I'm going to get it to you guys so that you guys can have it on a regular. So if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. Click that button over there that says subscribe and that bell if you haven't already so you can get all my notifications. And thank you for watching.